أعوذ من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأجمعين. Surah Nisa. Surah Nisa, that's Surah 4, verse 24. Also prohibited are women already married, except those whom your right hands possess. Thus hath Allah ordained prohibitions against you. Except for these, all others are lawful, provided ye seek them in marriage with gifts from your property, desiring chastity, not lust. Seeing that ye derive benefit from them, give them their dowers at least as prescribed. But if after a dower is prescribed, you agree mutually to vary it, there is no blame on you. And Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. If any of you have not the means wherewith to wed free believing women, they may wed believing girls from among those whom your right hands possess. And Allah hath full knowledge about your faith. Ye are one from another. Wed them with the leave of their owners, and give them their owners according to what is reasonable. They should be chaste, not lustful, nor taking paramours. When they are taken in wedlock, if they fall into shame, their punishment is half that for free women. This permission is for those among you who fear sin. But it is better for you that you practice self-restraint. And Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. Allah doth wish to make clear to you and to show you the ordinances of those before you. And He doth wish to turn to you in mercy. And Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. Allah doth wish to turn to you, but the wish of those who follow their lusts is that ye should turn away from Him, far, far away. Allah doth wish to lighten your difficulties, for man was created weak in flesh. O ye who believe, eat not up your property among yourselves in vanities, but let there be amongst you traffic and trade by mutual goodwill, nor kill or destroy yourselves. For verily, Allah hath been to you most merciful. If any do that in rancor and injustice, soon shall we cast them into the fire, and easy it is for Allah. If ye but eschew the most heinous of the things which you are forbidden to do, we shall expel out of you all the evil in you, and admit you to a gate of great honor. And in no wise covet those things in which Allah has bestowed His gifts more freely on some of you than on others. To men is allotted what they earn, and to women what they earn. But ask Allah of His bounty, for Allah hath full knowledge of all things. To benefit everyone, we have appointed shares and heirs to property left by parents and relatives. To those also to whom your right hand was pledged, give their due portion, for truly Allah is witness to all things. Men are the protectors and maintainers of women, because Allah has given the one more strength than the other, and because they support them from their means. Therefore, the righteous women are devoutly obedient and guard in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. And as to those women on whose part ye fear disloyalty and ill conduct, admonish them first. Next, refuse to share their beds. And at last, beat them lightly. But if they return to obedience, seek not against them means of annoyance. For Allah is most high, great above you all. If you fear a breach between them twain, appoint two arbiters, one from his family and the other from hers. If they wish for peace, Allah will cause their reconciliation. For Allah hath full knowledge and is acquainted with all things. Serve Allah, and join not any partners with Him. And do good to parents, kinfolk, orphans, those in need, neighbors who are near, neighbors who are strangers, the companion by your side, the wayfarer you meet, and what your right hands possess. For Allah loveth not the arrogant, the vainglorious, nor those who are niggardly or enjoying niggardliness on others, or hide the bounties which Allah hath bestowed on them. For we have prepared for those who resist faith a punishment that steeps them in contempt, nor those who spend of their substance to be seen of men but have no faith in Allah on the last day. If any take the evil one for their intimate, what a dreadful intimate he is. And what burden were it on them if they had faith in Allah in the last day, and they spent out of what Allah had given them for sustenance. For Allah had full knowledge of them. Allah is never unjust in the least degree. If there is any good done, He doubleth it, and giveth from His own presence a great reward. How then if we brought from each people a witness, and we brought thee as a witness against these people? On that day, those who reject faith and disobey the apostle will wish that the earth were made one with them, but never will they hide a single fact from Allah. Commentary 63, Surah 4, Ayat 43. Be clean and pure, and seek not occasions for quibbles, nor go after sorcery or false gods. Be faithful in your trust, learn obedience, and settle your quarrels under the guidance of Allah's apostle. Ever keep away from hypocrisy and every kind of falsehood. Then will you be admitted to a glorious fellowship with the highest and noblest in the spiritual world. O you who believe, approach not prayers with the mind befogged, until you can understand all that ye say, nor in a state of ceremonial impurity, except when traveling on the road, until after washing your whole body if you're ill, or on a journey, or one of you coming from offices of nature, or you have been in contact with women, and you find no water. Then take for yourselves clean sand or earth, and rub therewith your faces and hands. For Allah doth blot out sins, and forgives again and again. Hast thou not turned thy vision to those who were given a portion of the book? They traffic in error, and wish that ye should lose the right path. But Allah hath full knowledge of your enemies. Allah is enough for a protector, and Allah is enough for a helper. Now of the Jews, there are those who displace words from their right places and say, we hear and we disobey, and hear what is not heard, and ra'ina, with a twist of their tongues and a slander to faith. If only they had said, we hear and we obey, and do hear and do look at us, it would have been better for them and more proper. But Allah hath cursed them for their unbelief, and but few of them will believe. O ye people of the book, believe in what we have now revealed, confirming what was already with you, before we changed the face and fame of some of you beyond all recognition, and turned them hinwards, or cursed them as we cursed the Sabbath breakers. For the decision of Allah must be carried out. Allah forgiveth not the partners should be set up with him, but he forgiveth anything else, to whom he pleases. To set up partners with Allah is to devise a sin most heinous indeed. Hast thou not turned thy vision to those who claim sanctity for themselves? Nay, but Allah doth sanctify whom he pleaseth, but never will they fail to receive justice in the least little thing. Behold, how they invent a lie against Allah, but that by itself is a manifest sin. Hast thou not turned thy vision to those who were given portion of the book? They believed in sorcery and evil, and say to the unbelievers that they are better guided in the right way than other believers. They are men whom Allah hath cursed, and those whom Allah hath cursed, thou wilt find have no one to help. Have they a share in dominion or power? Behold, they give not a farthing to their own fellow men, but they envy mankind for what Allah hath given them of his bounty. But we had already given the people of Ibrahim the book and wisdom, and conferred upon them a great kingdom. Some of them believed, and some of them averted their faces from him, and enough is held for a burning fire. Those who reject our signs, we shall soon cast into the fire. As often as their skins are roasted through, we shall change them for fresh skins, that they may taste the penalty. For Allah is exalted in power wise. But those who believe and do deeds of righteousness, we shall soon admit to gardens with rivers flowing beneath their eternal home. Therein shall they have companions pure and holy. We shall admit them to shades, cool and ever deepening. Allah doth command you to render back your trust to those to whom they are due. And when ye judge between man and man, that ye judge with justice. Verily, how excellent is the teachings which he giveth you. For Allah is he who heareth and seeth all things. O you who believe, obey Allah, and obey the apostle, and those charged with authority among you. If you differ in anything among yourselves, refer it to Allah and his apostle if you do believe in Allah on the last day. That's best and the most suitable for final determination. Hast thou not turned thy vision to those who declare that they believe in the revelation that have come to thee and to those before thee? Their real wish is to resort together for judgment in their disputes to the evil one, though they were ordered to reject him. But Shaitan's wish is to lead them astray, far away from the right. When it is said to them, come to what Allah hath revealed, and to the apostle, thou seest the hypocrites avert their faces from thee in disgust. How then, when they are seized by misfortune because of the deeds which their hands have sent forth, then they come to thee swearing by Allah, Well, he meant no more than goodwill and conciliation. Those men, Allah knows what's in their hearts. So keep clear of them, but admonish them and speak to them a word to reach their very souls. We sent not an apostle but to be obeyed in accordance with the will of Allah. If they had only, when they were unjust to themselves, come unto thee and ask Allah's forgiveness, and the apostle had asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah indeed oft returning most merciful. But no, by thy Lord, they can have no real faith until they make thee judge in all disputes between them, and find in their souls no resistance against thy decisions, but accept them with the fullest conviction. If we had ordered them to sacrifice their lives or to leave their homes, very few of them would have done it. But if they had done what they were actually told, it would have been best for them, and would have gone farthest to strengthen their faith. And we should then have given them from our presence a great reward, and we should have shown them the straight way. All who obey Allah and the apostle are in the company of those on whom is the grace of Allah, of the prophets who teach, the sincere lovers of truth, the witnesses who testify, and the righteous who do good. Ah, what a beautiful fellowship. Such is the bounty from Allah, and sufficient is it that Allah knoweth all. Commentary 64. Keep together in your noble brotherhood. Share its joy and sorrow. Strive and fight the good fight. And never fear, for this life is short, and the hereafter eternal. Allow not yourselves to be drawn into unbelief and cowardice. Maintain the right. Protect yourselves against hypocrites and deserters, but pursue them not unrelentingly. O you who believe, take your precautions and either go forth in parties or go forth all together. There are certainly among you men who would tarry behind. If a misfortune befalls you, they say, Allah did favor us and that we were not present among them. But if a good fortune comes to you from Allah, they will be sure to say, as if there had never been ties of affection between you and them, oh, I wish I had been with them. A fine thing should I then have made of it. Let those fight in the cause of Allah who sell the life of this world for the hereafter. To him who fighteth in the cause of Allah, whether he is slain or gets victory, soon shall we give him a reward of great value. And why should ye not fight in the cause of Allah and of those who, being weak, are ill-treated and oppressed, men, women, and children, whose cry is, our Lord, rescue us from this town, whose people are oppressors, and raise for us from thee one who will protect, and raise for us from thee one who will help. Those who believe fight in the cause of Allah, and those who reject faith fight in the cause of evil. So fight ye against the friends of Shaitan. Feeble indeed is the cunning of Shaitan. Hast thou not turned thy vision to those who are told to hold back their hands from fight, but establish regular prayers and spend in regular charity? When a lengthy order for fighting was issued to them, behold, a section of them feared men as or even more than they should have feared Allah. They said, our Lord, why hast thou ordered us to fight? Wilt thou not grant us respite to our natural terms near enough? Say, short is the enjoyment of this world. The hereafter is the best for those who do right. Never will you be dealt with unjustly in the very least. Wherever you are, death will find you out, even if you are in towers built up strong and high. If some good befalls them, they say, this is from Allah. But if evil, they say, this is from thee, O Prophet. Say, all things are from Allah. But what hath come to these people that they fail to understand a single fact? Whatever good, O man, happens to thee is from Allah. But whatever evil happens to thee is from thy own soul. And we have sent thee as an apostle to instruct mankind. And enough is Allah for a witness. He who obeys the apostle obeys Allah. But if any turn away, we have not sent thee to watch over their evil deeds. They have obedience on their lips, but when they leave thee, a section of them meditate all night on things very different from what thou tellest them. But Allah records their nightly plots. So keep clear of them, and put thy trust in Allah. And enough is Allah as a disposer of affairs. Do they not consider the Quran with care? Had it been from other than Allah, they would surely have found therein much discrepancy. When there comes to them some matter touching public safety or fear, they divulge it. If they had only referred it to the apostle or to those charged with authority among them, the proper investigators would have tested it from them direct. Were it not for the grace and mercy of Allah unto you, all but a few of you would have fallen into the clutches of Shaitan. Then fight in Allah's cause. Thou art held responsible only for thyself, and rouse the believers. It may be that Allah will restrain the fury of the unbelievers, for Allah is the strongest in might and punishment. Whoever recommends and helps a good cause becomes a partner therein. And whoever recommends and helps an evil cause, share in his burden. And Allah has power over all things. When a courteous greeting is offered to you, meet it with a greeting still more courteous, at least of equal courtesy. Allah takes careful account of all things. Allah, there is no God but He. Of a surety, He will gather you together against the day of judgment, about which there is no doubt, and whose word can be truer than Allah's. Why should ye be divided into two parties about the hypocrites? Allah hath upset them for their evil deeds. Would ye guide those whom Allah hath thrown out of the way? For those whom Allah hath thrown out of the way, never shalt thou find the way. They but wish that ye should reject faith as they do, and thus be on the same footing as they. But take not friends from their ranks until they flee the way of Allah from what is forbidden. But if they turn renegades, seize them and slay them wherever ye find them. In any case, take no friends or helpers from their ranks, except those who join a group between whom and you there is a treaty, a peace, or those who approach with you hearts restraining them from fighting you as well as fighting their own people. And if Allah had pleased, He could have given them power over you, and they would have fought you. Therefore, if they withdraw from you, but fight you not, and instead send you guarantees of peace, then Allah has opened no way for you to war against them. Others you would find that wish to gain your confidence as well as that of their people. Every time they are sent back to temptation, they succumb thereto. If they withdraw not from you, nor give you guarantees of peace besides restraining their hands, seize them and slay them. Wherever you get them in their case, we have provided you with a clear argument against them. Commentary 65. The lives of those who believe are sacred. If one is slain by mistake, full compensation should be made, nor should a stranger, even in time of war, be treated as an enemy without the fullest investigation. Live not in places hostile to Islam. If you are able to migrate, and spacious is Allah's earth, devotion and prayer may be shortened in time of danger. Take every precaution for safety, but be bold and undaunted in fight. Never should a believer kill a believer. But if it so happens by mistake, compensation is due. If one so kills a believer, it is ordained that he should free a believing slave and pay compensation to the deceased's family, unless they remit it freely. If the deceased belonged to a people at war with you, and he was a believer, the freeing of a believing slave is enough. If he belonged to a people with whom you have a treaty of mutual alliance, compensation should be paid to his family, and a believing slave should be free. For those who find this beyond their means, is prescribed a fast for 2 months running, by way of repentance to Allah. For Allah hath all knowledge and all wisdom. If a man kills a believer intentionally, his recompense is hell, to abide therein forever. And the wrath and the curse of Allah are upon him, and a dreadful penalty is prepared for him. O ye who believe, when you go abroad in the cause of Allah, investigate carefully, and say not to anyone who offers you a salutation, thou art not of a believer, coveting the perishable goods of this life. With Allah are profits and spoils abundance. Even thus were ye yourselves before, till Allah conferred on you His favors. Therefore carefully investigate, for Allah is well aware of all that ye do. Not equal are those believers who sit at home and receive no hurt, and those who strive and fight in the cause of Allah with their goods and their persons. Allah hath granted a great hire to those who strive and fight with their goods and their persons than to those who sit at home. Unto all in faith hath Allah promised good. But those who strive and fight, hath he distinguished above those who sit at home by a special reward, ranks specially bestowed by him, and forgiveness and mercy. For Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. When angels take the souls of those who die in sin against their souls, they say, in what plight were ye? They reply, weak and oppressed. Were we in the earth? They said. Was not the earth of Allah spacious enough for you to move yourselves away from evil? Such men will find their abode in hell. What an evil refuge. Except those who are really weak and oppressed, men and women and children who have no means in their power, nor guideposts to direct their way. For these there is hope that Allah will forgive. For Allah doth blot sins and forgive again and again. He who forsakes his home in the cause of Allah finds in the earth many a refuge wide and spacious. Should he die as a refugee from home for Allah and his apostle, his reward becomes due and sure with Allah. And Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. When you travel through the earth, there is no blame on you if you shorten your prayers, for fear the unbelievers may attack you. For the unbelievers are unto you open enemies. When thou, O apostle, are with them and standest to lead them in prayer, let one party of them stand up in prayer with thee, taking their arms with them. When they finish their prostration, let them take their positions in the rear. And let the other party come up, which have not yet prayed, and let them pray with thee, taking all precautions and bearing arms. The unbelievers wish, if you were negligent of your arms and your baggage, to assault you in a single rush. But there is no blame on you if you put away your arms because of the inconveniences of rain or because you are ill. But take every precaution for yourselves. For the unbelievers, Allah hath prepared a humiliating punishment. When you pass congregational prayers, celebrate Allah's praises, standing, sitting down, or lying down on your sides. But when you are free from danger, set up regular prayers, for such prayers are enjoined on the believers at stated times. And slacken not in following up the enemy. If you are suffering hardships, they are suffering similar hardships. But if you have hope from Allah, while they have none, and Allah is full of knowledge and wisdom. Commentary 66. Beware of treachery that will use the good and pious for its wicked ends. Its plots will but recoil on its own head. The righteous have no cause for secrecy except in doing good. 'Tis evil that misleads and deceives and even dares deface fair nature as by Allah created. Shun all evil and be firm in righteousness and faith in Allah. We have sent down to thee the book and truth, that thou mightest judge between men as guided by Allah. So be not used as an advocate by those who betray their trust, but seek the forgiveness of Allah. For Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Contend not on behalf of such as betray their own souls. For Allah loveth not one given to perfidy and crime, that they may hide their crimes from men, but they cannot hide them from Allah, seeing that He is in their midst when they plot by night, in words that He cannot approve. And Allah doth compass round all that they do. These are the sort of men on whose behalf ye may contend in this world. But who will contend with Allah on their behalf on the day of judgment? Or who will carry their affairs through? If anyone does evil or wrongs his own soul, but afterwards seeks Allah's forgiveness, he will find Allah oft forgiving and most merciful. And if anyone earns sin, he earns it against his own soul, for Allah is full of knowledge and wisdom. But if anyone earns a fault or a sin and throws it on to one that is innocent, he carries on himself both a falsehood and a flagrant sin. But for the grace of Allah to thee and His mercy, a party of them would certainly have plotted to lead thee astray. But in fact, they will only lead their own souls astray. And to thee they can do no harm in the least. For Allah hath sent down to thee the book and the wisdom, and taught thee what thou knewest not before. And great is the grace of Allah unto thee. In most of their secret talks there is no good. But if one exhorts to a deed of charity or justice or conciliation between men, secrecy is permissible. To him who does this, seeking the good pleasure of Allah, we shall soon give a reward of the highest value. And if anyone contends with the apostle, even after guidance has been plainly conveyed to him, and follows a path other than that becoming to men of faith, we shall leave him in the path he's chosen, and land him in hell. What an evil refuge. Allah forgiveth not the sin of joining other gods with him, but he forgiveth whom he pleaseth other sins than this. One who joins other gods with Allah have strayed far, far away from the right. The pagans leaving him call but upon female deities. They call but upon Shaitan, the persistent rebel. Allah did curse him, but he said, I will take of thy service a portion marked off. I will mislead them, and I will create in them false desires. I will order them to slit the ears of cattle and to deface the fair nature created by Allah. Whoever, forsaking Allah, takes Shaitan for a friend, had of a surety suffered a loss that is manifest. Shaitan makes them promises and creates in them false desires. But Shaitan's promises are nothing but deceptions. They, his dupes, will have their dwelling in hell, and from it they will find no way of escape. But those who believe and do deeds of righteousness, we shall soon admit them to gardens with rivers flowing beneath to dwell there forever. Allah's promise is the truth, and whose word can be truer than Allah's? Not your desires, nor those of the people of the book can prevail. Whoever works evil will be requited accordingly, nor will he find besides Allah any protector or helper. If any do deeds of righteousness, be they male or female, and have faith, they will enter heaven, and not the least injustice will be done to them. Who can be better in religion than one who submits his whole self to Allah, does good, and follows the way of Ibrahim, the true in faith? For Allah did take Ibrahim for a friend. But to Allah belong all things in the heavens and on earth, and he it is that encompasses all things. Commentary 67. Justice to women and orphans is part of the religion and fear of Allah. Stand out firmly for justice to all, even against yourselves or your nearest of kin. Remain firm in faith and consort not with evil or hypocrisy. Be true in speech and wound not others, nor distinguish between teachers of truth. For Allah's truth is one and should be delivered. This comment was talked about this morning in the halakha, distinguishing between men of truth. We were talking about that direct statement. They asked thy instruction concerning the women, say, Allah doth instruct you about them. And remember what hath been rehearsed unto you in the book concerning the orphans of women to whom you give not the portions prescribed, and yet whom you desire to marry, is also concerning the children who are weak and oppressed, that ye stand firm for justice to orphans. There is not a good deed which ye do, but Allah is well acquainted therewith. If a wife fears cruelty or desertion on her husband's part, there is no blame on them if they arrange an amicable settlement between themselves, and such settlements is best, even though men's souls are swayed by greed. But if you do good and practice self-restraint, Allah is well acquainted with all that you do. You are never able to be fair and just as between women, even if it was your ardent desire. But turn not away from a woman altogether so as to leave her, as it were, hanging in the air. If you come to a friendly understanding and practice self-restraint, Allah is all forgiving, most merciful. But if they disagree and must part, Allah will provide abundance for all from his all-reaching bounty. For Allah is he that careth for all and is wise. To Allah belong all things in the heavens and on earth. Verily, we have directed the people of the book before you, and you, O Muslims, to fear Allah. But if ye deny him, lo, unto Allah belong all things in the heavens and on earth, and Allah is free of all want, worthy of all praise. Yea, and to Allah belong all things in the heaven and on earth, and enough is Allah to carry through all affairs. If it were his will, he could destroy you, O mankind, and create another race, for he hath power this to do. If anyone desires a reward in this life, then Allah's gifts is the reward both of this life and the hereafter. For Allah is he that heareth and seeth all things. O you who believe, stand out firmly for justice as witnesses to Allah, even as against yourselves, or your parents, or your kin, and whether it be against rich or poor, for Allah can best protect both. Follow not the lust of your hearts, lest ye swerve, and if you distort justice or decline to do justice. Verily, Allah is well acquainted with all that ye do. O you who believe, believe in Allah and His apostles, and the scripture which He had sent to His apostles, and the scriptures which He sent to those before Him. And who denieth Allah and His angels, His books, and His apostles in the day of judgment, has gone far, far astray. Those who believe then reject faith, then believe again and again reject faith, and go on increasing in unbelief, Allah will not forgive them, nor guide them on the way. To the hypocrites give the glad tidings that there is for them but a grievous penalty. Yea, to those who take for friends unbelievers rather than believers, is it honor they seek among them? Nay, all honor is with Allah. Already has He sent you word in the book that when you hear the signs of Allah held in defiance and ridicule, you are not to sit with them unless they turn to a different thing. If you did, you would be like them. For Allah will collect the hypocrites and those who defy faith all in hell. These are the ones who wait and watch about you. If you do gain a victory from Allah, they say, were we not with you? But if the unbelievers gain a success, they say, did we not gain an advantage over you? And did we not guard you from the believers? But Allah will judge betwixt you on the day of judgment, and never will Allah grant to the unbelievers a way to triumph over the believers. The hypocrites, they think they are overreaching Allah, but He will overreach them. When they stand up to prayer, they stand without earnestness to be seen of men, but little do they hold Allah in remembrance. They are distracted in mind even in the midst of it, being sincerely for neither one group nor for another. Whom Allah leaves straying, never will thou find for him the way. O you who believe, take not for friends unbelievers rather than believers. Do you wish to offer Allah an open proof against yourselves? The hypocrites will be in the lowest depths of the fire. No helper wilt thou find for them, except for those who repent, mend their life, hold fast to Allah and purify their religion, as in Allah's sight. If so, they will be numbered with the believers. And soon will Allah grant to the believers a reward of immense value. What can Allah gain by your punishment if you are grateful and you believe? Nay, it is Allah that recognizes all good, and He knoweth all things. Alhamdulillah. So that is the fifth reading of the Quran, my brothers and sisters, the fourth day of the fast. That shows you how fast these days are going. Alhamdulillah. So as those of you who are online, as a reminder, we will start our reading tomorrow at the same time at 5:45. Reminder of this week, we will be going up an hour on Sunday, so it'll be moving, it'll spring forward, it'll be going an hour ahead. So the days will be a little bit longer in regard to your fasting. You'll be having an hour-long fast on this, inshallah. That start on Sunday of this week, so we just look forward to that. Also, as a reminder, brothers and sisters, prepare yourself for your zakat, your annual zakat to be paid before the end of Ramadan. Try to make sure you make obligations on paying your zakat. There's also zakat fitr, charity that's given. We're charging $15 per person per family for the fitr charity. So the annual zakat and fitr charity is different. So you pay the zakat fitr charity on the day of Ramadan, and also you try to get your annual zakat, which is an annual payment. We do this because there's more blessings and rewards, especially during Ramadan when you pay. So you want to get all the blessings and things that you can, inshallah. So annually you want to make sure you carry out and fulfill your obligations. Those of you who wish to give, especially online, we ask people to give during the sessions today here in the Mosque. So give some sadaqah, inshallah. Those of you online, we wish for you to go online, and you can go online and give a sadaqah. You can go to Cash App, $FirstCleveland, and then you can pay through there. You can go to FirstCleveland Mosque at 131.com, and that's Zelle. You can pay through that line also. So we thank you for all your contributions, and of course it's your contributions that allow us to flow every year for the last 88 years, inshallah. May Allah make it easy for everyone who have supported us through our efforts for 88 years. This masjid is still going. This masjid is not only a masjid, but it is an institution. So we want to make sure that our institutions continue to flow continuously for the next 88 years, inshallah. So with that being said, we are going to dismiss during the fast, which will be broken today. at 7:22. 7:22, brothers and sisters, you can make your fast. A reminder, tomorrow before you fast, make sure you make every intent to fast before you fast, and ask Allah for forgiveness. We are in the days of mercy from Allah, so as you continue to pray, continue to ask and implore Allah for His mercy during these 10 days of Ramadan, and Allah will be merciful to all of us, inshallah. So may Allah bless us, and we will dismiss at this particular time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.